When I became a mom and went through all the first-time mom feels, joys, discoveries, and all the challenges, it really became apparent on my mental load after I had my second baby. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I was spread way thin. What felt like months and months and months of trying to keep it all together while feeling like I was being pulled in all directions, I felt resentment brewing. Resentment and anger at myself, being a mom, at having to do all the things only moms can really do. Parenthood is challenging enough as it is, and getting organized sounds easier said than done. Now combine these two together, and it's truly a balancing act that many of us struggle with day in, day out. If you're here, it's because you want to know how to get your life and home more organized and structured where the kids are involved too, so that parent life is a little easier and you can focus on what truly matters. Hey there, I'm Diane Jimenez, owner and founder of One Tidy Place. I created this podcast because I know parents have their hands full. I know this because I have 3 kids of my own. Each week, we'll talk about all things organizing, teaching kids life skills, and contributing to the home. Being on the same page with your partner and raising kids together. So while you tidy up, go out for a walk, or just need some real talk, I'm here for you. Thank you for tuning in. Are you ready? Let's do this. Well, hello. You're listening to the Parenting Guide, Organizing Habits Made Easy podcast, and I'm your host, Diane Jimenez. I'm so delighted to have you here, and thank you for subscribing to my channel from whichever platform you normally listen to podcasts on. Now, if you're on Apple, don't forget you can always leave a review. I so love reading them, so keep them coming. They're encouraging and motivating. Okay, so if you've been listening to this podcast, follow me on Instagram, or if you're on my email list, and by the way, if you're not, I suggest you get on it. I link on how you can do all that in today's show notes. I'm a big mental health advocate, so when working with clients, it's top of mind. In fact, it's a priority that we decrease the mental load and bring you more clarity and mental space after each session. So with May being Mental Health Awareness Month, I thought, what better way to increase the awareness than by talking about it more so that we all put it out there, help people feel connected and not alone, so as to help them move forward towards seeking help and start the healing process. Now, you may or may not know this about me, but on top of being a professional organizer, once upon a time, I was deep into the world of health and wellness. Eons ago, I got my degree in exercise science, specializing in athletic therapy. Fast forward 8 years later, and jumping into the finance world for a stint, I decided that my heart and calling were all about helping people on a more personal level. And so I got my certificate in massage therapy while on maternity leave. Now, I'm no longer in that field because after 2 more kids and a busy household, my career and passion projects had to be put on hold for a bit, but not for long. I still am passionate about helping people, whether it's physically with organizing and systemizing their spaces, or emotionally by guiding them into making the decisions about letting go of the items that no longer serve them. It all ends up affecting us mentally. So, as I mentioned earlier, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I want you to know that I always have your health in mind when delivering content, either here on my podcast, in videos, posts on social media, or weekly check-ins straight in your inbox. I also have your health and well-being at the top of my list when it comes to teaching and guiding you, whether in person during an organizing session or through my online training and community with moms struggling with time management and upcoming online toy organization course. Head to my show notes at the end of this episode where you'll find the link on how to get into the time management community for moms and to my toy organizing course. At the release of this episode, the doors are currently closed for both of these. So sign up today to get on the waiting list and be the first to know when the doors open up again. When I became a mom and went through all the first-time mom feels, joys, discoveries, and all the challenges, it really became apparent on my mental load after I had my second baby. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I was spread way thin. I was still adjusting to knowing my daughter, a very different baby than my first, and all the tricks that were working before didn't work at all or as effectively with her. I felt, as millions of moms out there also felt, like crap. I had no idea what I was doing. Well, I knew the basics, but this was a whole different personality. It's as though I was starting back at square one, but still trying to be present and attentive to my son, and at the same time being a loving and supportive wife 24/7, 365. My mode was either off, which felt like a blink, or always on, there for everyone and everything. Doing things on my own and trying to figure things out. It's just who I am. It's part of my being. Now, this isn't to say that my husband didn't help or wasn't present, not at all. He's a very involved parent and husband. When I was in massage therapy school, every second weekend, he was perfectly fine taking care of our son, and our son knew no difference. But while Onig was asleep, call it stubbornness on my part, or just wanting to ensure he's at his best for his employees and business partners, I would rarely wake him up overnight. I tended to all the wake-ups from either one or both kids. Now, don't get me wrong, we had many conversations about me needing to wake him up, even if it was to bring the baby to me, wait for the feed, and bring her back to her crib. He was so on board with that. But my thoughts were about taking care of him too. Looking back at this now, I still wouldn't have changed a thing, and knowing that he's listening to this podcast the second it releases, he's most probably shaking his head right now. So back to getting up for all sounds and peeps from my babies. My body was experiencing physical pains due to my posture and post-surgery, lack of sleep, and possible lack of overall mobility. Even today, I still experience sharp pains randomly through my hands with the simplest movements. Anyways, in hindsight, I wanted and needed to do the work, feel all the feels, gain the experience and knowledge about myself. As much as my babies were growing, I was too. But my mental health was also taking a toll. I didn't know or didn't pay much attention then, but I do remember one night, annoyed after a quick feed, standing by the corner of the bed, awake but exhausted. What felt like months and months and months of trying to keep it all together, while feeling like I was being pulled in all directions, I felt resentment brewing. Resentment and anger at myself, being a mom, at having to do all the things only moms can really do. Resentment at my husband, who was able to turn everything off before his head could hit the pillow. I remember looking at him asleep, so unaware of my thoughts and feelings. Part of me felt bad, but I was also annoyed and pretty pissed. I cringe right now thinking of this. He's such a wonderful and generous father, husband, and partner. I couldn't have asked for a better person to live this life with. I truly lucked out with this guy. When we were still dating and had lots of outside challenges with our relationship, I often said, it doesn't matter where we are or what we're doing. We could be shoveling poop as long as I'm with you. Well, this was one of those times. This segment, this season in our lives was us shoveling poop, but he just didn't know about it. Where are you on the path to getting organized? Ever say, I'm literally drowning in you fill in the blank, toys, clothes, books, stuff, or all this clutter is feeding my anxiety. Or when you're looking for something, you say, it's back here somewhere. I know I saw it, as you start emptying the closet, storage space, and your drawers. If you answered yes to any of these, Grab my roadmap to get you from drowning in clutter to peace of mind. Head to dianejimenez.com/roadmap and start your organizing journey today. So that night, standing at the far corner of the bed opposite him, I grew resentment. And I felt that if I continued on this path of me doing everything for everyone and being on all the time for my family, that our relationship, where we started and why we endured all those obstacles in the past so that we could be here today for this life we dreamt of, was starting to form tiny cracks and fissures in our foundation. It wasn't good. And I saw myself going into really dark places and thoughts of my husband. And I don't think I've ever expressed this to him in such a way, or to anyone for that matter. But I feel like maybe expressing what I went through here now on this platform will help another mom going through something similar in thoughts, feelings, situation, or experience. So thank God I snapped out of those dark and scary thoughts that night in the wee hours of the morning. I don't know how the conversation came up between Onig and I, but checking in was a must, and the conversation had to come about. I had to get real, be honest, completely naked with him. No, not that kind of naked. Like, see my soul, who I am, let you in on what's going on with me, all my troubles, my fears, my joys, and my wonder type of naked. Where did this term come from, be naked? Well, for me at least, I had posted a video a few years back for a Facebook challenge I participated in. And the question was, what would you tell your 6 or 7-year-old self? Or if you could tell your younger self something, what would you tell them? Anyways, it was something like that. My answer was that I'd tell my younger self to be naked with their partner. Share your thoughts, your dreams, your hopes, and deepest fears, always and often throughout your time together. I'll post the link of this video in today's show notes. But it went on into more detail, and you can hear the feelings about Onig in my voice. I had a lump in my throat and got a little teary-eyed then, and I still do now just thinking about it and as I write this part for this episode. So that very difficult but honest conversation with Onig came out. I don't know how or when, if it was in the middle of the night or during the day, but I don't even remember if it started out as an argument. Patience gets pretty thin with very little to no sleep, right? But we had a deep heart-to-heart, and I realized I had to let go. Let go of trying to be all and everything for everyone. Let go of doing all because I don't have to. I'm capable of it, yes. But in our situation, am I supposed to do it all? I'm not. And it was hard to do that, to swallow my pride. And this is something I'm still working on today. Remember how I said earlier that I'm a person who likes to figure things out for herself? I believe it stems from when we were younger. As immigrants here 40 plus years ago, my parents didn't have much support like they did back in the Philippines. My aunt was here though, but she too was working, so they had to figure things out for themselves. And as kids, with both parents working, we had to figure things out too. It was the 80s. It's what we all did, I think. Anyways, it was high time to ask for help. Even though there wasn't a question about receiving it at all, Onig was fully there and fully supportive and a super problem solver. He is a mechanical engineer running his family business after all, so problem solving is in his DNA. Plus, he tells the kids, even now, that he loves them so much, but I love your mother the most. I couldn't have asked for a better partner. Did I say that already? But it's true, and it's worth repeating. So in our conversation, it's as though I had to come clean and let my guards down. My pride, my ego had to all take a step back now, way back, and let the new Diane, the one that was growing from all these experiences, emerge. So the person trained in health, the mom, the wife, and the new me all had to start working together or coexist for myself, my family, and my relationship with my husband. It was for our future to even exist. So in this episode, I wanted to tell you a little part about me, the not so organized and polished person I normally post up on social media, or try to at least. And I know I covered how I became a pro organizer in podcast episode number 2, and I thought at the time that that was good enough. But in recent days, I felt like I needed to connect a little deeper with you this time, so you know where I come from and where my mind is at when I'm trying to help you through my courses, one-on-one sessions, or even in person when we chat. I hope this episode helps you on your road towards mental clarity and decreasing your mental load, or that it opened up your eyes a little about mental health. The journey is different for everyone, but it affects us all. So I wanted to share a little piece of me with you today. If you found this episode touching home or thought of someone, a friend, a loved one, a colleague who shared a piece of their story with you and this episode could help them through their journey, or you feel it would resonate with them, share the link to this episode via text or email. You never know whose life you're helping to turn around or get them closer towards the light at the end of their tunnel. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time to listen to my podcast today while you're out and about or getting stuff done. I'm so appreciative and thankful for your valuable time. I'm also going to take this moment to wish you lots of sunshine, love, and support wherever you are and whenever you need it. You are an amazing person with so much to offer in this world and with more wonderful adventures to experience and things to explore. I'm rooting for you. Until next week, friend. Bye for now.